Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka.
And I'm Tommy.
And today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, Season 14, Episode 9. That episode is titled, It's Love on the Table. If you guys haven't already, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, turn on notification bell, and who would you like to start with today?
Let's go with Steve and Noy.
I was about to say, I'm going to be completely honest. I have forgotten this episode at this point. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. So Steve wakes up on this episode and Noy is gone.
Yeah.
It's just him and Sushi at the house.
Well, at least we know she wasn't gone.
Right. So she had left him basically a scavenger hunt was set up for him.
Yeah.
So he had little notes and little, I guess we can call them treasure chests. And he was basically following the clues to find her. And she was using small details from their relationship.
Yeah.
What are we, 3 weeks in now?
Yeah, something like that.
So look for flowers. I can't remember else.
Like I didn't get like everything that they was, saying.
Yeah.
But I did, just quick note, Steve drives a RAV4 and Kanye messed up RAV4s for me. That is hilarious.
Sidebar, small story time. Last year we were in the market for a new vehicle and I was like, let's test drive a RAV4. Tommy was like, absolutely not. Like he was so adamant that we were not going to go look at RAV4s that we didn't even go to the Toyota dealership. And like,
what you think I rap for?
You don't rap. See the problem? You do not rap. But yeah, so, and it's crazy because I've only ever owned Toyotas. So I'm all like, yeah, let's go look at a Toyota. And he's like, absolutely not. What else you got?
Yeah.
So
Kanye ruined it for me, man.
We did not buy a
But
Toyota.
the RAV4s are like great. They're awesome cars. They look great.
All of them that I've seen from afar have been nice.
They look awesome.
And I opened up one on a used car lot that was a current year, like it was a 2021.
Yeah.
And it looked nice in the inside, but Tommy he was like, we are not test driving.
Kanye said, what you think I rap for? To drive a RAV4.
There's a lot of things Kanye says and does.
But I mean, like that makes sense though. But anyway, Steve and Noah. It's not about us. It's about Steve and Noah.
He finds her at the end of the scavenger hunt. That's about all I got for the scavenger hunt.
She did say she sees where she can do better. Like when they were sitting down talking, that was one of the things that I had caught from her is that she was like, I can do better at doing, basically communicating and stuff. So I did wonder how long it took him to find her. Like, how long of a process was this?
So you wanted something totally different from me. I was like, where is Steve putting out little boxes?
I'd never thought about that. It's like, where did he put out the boxes?
Because if this was like a cute scavenger hunt that like you and I would have done.
Yeah, I probably would have saw you.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want you to throw away my boxes.
Yeah.
Like I bought those.
I could use those again.
For some. So next up this week, title shows is Love on the Table. This was the love exercise episode. Yeah. So they get the little
questionnaire.
Yeah, it's like note cards, I think.
I don't even they didn't like how they used to do it. They used to show it.
Yeah.
This time they just kind of like, we're going to make it conversational. But nobody ever that's not really a real conversational.
Jasmina and Michael were like looking around, waiting on the doorbell to ring to tell them that the stuff was coming. Like everybody else is like, oh, there's something here.
Oh, so they had something there.
Yeah, it was like everybody didn't open the door. Like Noy and Steve didn't open the door.
I was like, did I miss something? Anyway, Steve was in 5 serious relationships.
He's 38, I guess.
And he loved all of them. I get that.
So Noy says that she thinks she's been in love before. Steve said yes several times. And she wants to see how her partner shows up for her before falling in love. And I was like, but you loved him on the honeymoon, remember?
Yeah, like,
or she thinks
she thought she's falling in love. Yeah.
I don't know how he could have been showing up for her at that point.
I don't know. I just think of course, it's things that we don't see, what they're doing.
No, I'm just talking about 3 days, period.
Oh, you talking about that part. I was talking about like this current episode
3
part.
weeks. Okay, I can see you saying I love you in 3 weeks. Whatever.
Yeah.
3 days, and you say you need someone to show up for you. There is no showing up at 3 days.
You don't know how to show up for somebody. You still meeting somebody.
Right. Steve said that he needs trust and to build a bond, and she doesn't like his answers.
She don't?
She didn't.
Oh. All I got is they're celebrating 3 weeks going to the beach.
Okay, so that was my next one. They celebrated their 3 weeks with an ocean picnic. And at the ending of the ocean picnic, Steve tells her that he loves her. And she was like, you do?
Yeah, that was cute. Oh, is what I wrote.
I haven't really seen, and I know that it's because this episode was the Let's Talk About Love episode, but I just want to see the progress of Steve's communication with Noy about finances, and Noy affirming him that when she gets mad about something, she's just not going to leave. And I know that was just last week. Was it last week or week before?
It was last week.
It was just last week, but I want to see more of that development.
I didn't catch what they were saying when they went archery shooting and at the nail bar, but that's the gist of both of their conversations.
Did I write any notes for that? Oh, I said, Noy said that they marry their inner child. You marry your spouse's inner child, belief system, and trauma, and you have to still learn them as a spouse. And I get that. Her money issues, or her issues surrounding money, stem from her childhood trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And also her belief system is that you need a job to overcome poverty.
Yeah.
And Steve did not grow up that way.
Right.
So it's going to be difficult for the two of them to figure all of that out.
Yeah.
But that is interesting because you do. And I remember there's been conversations that I've had with you, and I'm like, oh my God, that makes sense, because this is like this is ingrained in you because of how you grew up. And not saying that it's anything negative, but it's just like, there's like little things like you like a lot of people around. It's because you grew up in a house that had a lot of people always coming over.
Yeah. And
I went to someone's house, my grandparents' house, that always had people coming over. But when you went to my mom's house,
but nobody
coming over. So it's like little things like that. Like, it's not like it's like you have to look for like the deep.
I never paid that attention.
The deep rooted trauma of it all, but it's just little things that like help you learn a person and understand why they are the way that they are.
I definitely never paid that any attention.
But you see, it makes sense, right?
It makes sense. I get it.
All right, who you want to do next?
Let's save Olajuwon and I was going to say Michael and Michael. Jasmina and Michael. I was going to say, who is
Michael?
Jasmina and Michael.
Okay. Jasmina.
I seen the J and then I looked at Michael. It's like, Michael. That's their name.
I think I got the giggles because it's early.
Yeah.
So Michael.
Not Michael.
Tries to do something nice for Jasmina by setting up a picnic date for the trio, which is Jasmina himself and Jasmina's dog, Feeny. Yeah. He did get the dog an elaborate gift. It was like a lot of little things in there. It was like treats and him a bandana. And he's just basically like, look, I just want to show you that I am making effort to essentially be here for you and this dog. And this dog is very important to you. So I'm going to show up as a good dog dad. Which was kind of like what Ryan did with Clara. Yeah. When he took the dog to like training or something.
Yeah.
So they sit down and they talk about communication. And Tommy had not watched the episode at this point, but I was watching it in the room with him. Yeah. He couldn't even see the screen, but he just had to stop and say, I figured it out. Yeah. Yeah. But we realized that we knew, the viewing public, but they have a communication issue. Mm-hmm. Michael was basically like, hey, tell me how you would like for me to communicate things to you. And Jasmina essentially was like, you should just know.
Yeah, like, and it's funny when I was sitting there listening to them talk to each other, it was like I understood that, you know, Michael's asking for help. And she's like, you should know. Well, obviously I don't know. So instead of telling me that I should know, just tell me what I asked you.
And it's like, have to learn. People communicate so differently that you have to learn how to communicate with a person.
And it's not a one size fit all.
Right.
You know, it's all right, let's figure this thing out. Because where he's missing or what he was confused on was the fact that when he's having a conversation or he gets annoyed or he gets irritated by something, his tone changes, but the loudness of it doesn't change because we saw it at the picnic. Mm-hmm. And because the loudness of his conversation doesn't change and everything like that, but you can tell there's annoyance or irritants or, you know, some type of emotion is inside of his voice. She take it as, oh, you're yelling at me. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're doing this at me and you're not going to do this at me.
Like you're being very aggressive and it could be seen as aggressive, but if you look at the totality of at least that conversation, it wasn't him being aggressive.
Right.
It was him essentially saying in so many words, like we're saying, you didn't answer the question.
Yeah.
Can you answer the question?
And so,
do you know how to answer the question?
And that was the thing. It was like, instead of saying, I don't know really how to tell you or show you how to communicate with me, which leads into a better, like, I feel like a lot of these folks that come on here have issues with communication because they don't know how to really hold a conversation.
I had to sneeze.
Because if there's a way to hold a conversation as far as like, if I'm trying to learn something from you, right? Mm-hmm. And I ask you a question, you answer that question, we're going to go into more elaboration on that question. Or if you don't even know how to answer the question, we'll go into more elaboration of asking it in a better way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But the opportunity to ask the question in a better way never came up for Michael. I'm talking a lot. I'm sorry, guys. It never came up.
Talk as much as you need to.
Never came up. It just bothered me.
I see.
It never came up in conversation because she initially got mad and got defensive to his response to her not answering his question.
Yeah. And I mean, she probably didn't see it that way.
She definitely didn't see it that way.
We saw it that way. And I think that a lot of also communication issues between the two of them is not asking the right question.
Yeah.
Not just not communicating, but I think when he saw that she wasn't answering it the way that he needed it to be answered, he needed to try a different approach.
Yeah.
I don't know what that approach should have been.
You have to ask. He couldn't see, and that's the thing when I was saying about the conversation, they don't know how to hold conversations with each other because, okay, just communicate. For instance, for example, when XYZ happens, how do I ABC it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, or do you like it when, you know what I'm saying, and give a random scenario, or how do you deal with, you know, how do you deal with somebody? Because the conversation about yelling, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say, I don't like people to yell at me because my mama don't yell at me.
Mm-hmm.
It triggers me. Well, why does that trigger you? Because my mama yelled at me. You know?
And now she does.
And now she does not. You know what I'm saying? But that's a conversation.
But that's kind of like just a loose example as well, because this is similar to what you just said about your mom and yelling.
I love my mom, by the way. Hey, mama.
My former neighbor had multiple kids. And she had one child that if she just yelled her name through the house, like not in a you're in trouble type of voice, but just I'm not coming back there to get you.
Yeah.
Just yelling a name, come here. One of her children would cry.
Really?
Just bawl. Because she thought that everybody raising their voices meant she was in trouble.
Yeah.
And we would have to because I used to babysit them. When I would babysit them, to figure out where she was, we would have to send another child to go look for her.
Yeah.
Because if you called her, she was just going to come out crying.
Yeah.
And then crying turns into the... And you can't get it. And it's like, I just want to know, did you want some cereal?
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to.
A whole different thing.
It's like, it doesn't have to be that way. So you just have to learn she does not do this well.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to work around. How do we get you to where I am without me going back there?
Right.
That's all I want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just like, that's pretty much what Michael is trying to figure out.
That's the exact situation Michael was in at this picnic.
Exactly. That's why I had to get that out. It's the exact same situation. I don't want to yell at you, even though I'm not yelling in an angry voice. I'm elevating my voice because I am not near you.
Yeah.
Which theirs is not.
His
that
was
situation.
Annoyance.
Yeah.
Michael did talk about his brother's death.
Mm-hmm. That was in their love.
Yeah, their love thing.
Conversation.
And see, that's having a conversation. Him telling her about that. And I didn't know how she was going to react with him crying, but I knew I was like, go ahead and let it out. It's okay. I
think he said his brother died in 99.
I don't know. I don't remember.
And it just so happens to be the anniversary of his death.
Yeah.
So he had gone out to the cemetery to visit his brother, and she was just like, I wish I had known. I would have gone with you. And it was nice to hear that being said to him. I don't know if she just, if it would have been what he needed in that moment, because sometimes you need to be alone in your thoughts and all of that.
I just feel like if he wanted her to go, he would have told her and gave her the option to, go with her or, make the decision to go or not. But I think it's not that he didn't care. He probably just didn't want her to go.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I say, because being alone.
It's like that conversation hadn't been had. She has no emotional tie to his brother. And she has no, I can't say there's not any emotional tie to him, but it's like, y'all was still, at this point, still just trying
At 3 weeks into dating someone, if they asked me to go to the cemetery with them, I probably would, but I'm not a person that's creeped out by cemeteries. But I would think of that as kind of like if we went to go visit your great grandmother's grave.
Yeah.
I don't have a relation. I never met her, so there was no relationship there. But going to visit your grandmother's grave, it's like, okay, I had years with your grandmothers. So it's like, okay, yeah, we can go out here and, tell me what you want to do. If you want to put flowers out. Like, I mean, not that I wouldn't do that for your great grandmother, but the connection, I would take your mom's mom. If I was going out to her grave and you said I want to put flowers, I would be thinking, oh, she liked this type of flower. Let me get this for her. Like it would be that type of process. So it'd be a little bit different.
Yeah. No, I get that part. So that's why I thought about that. Then they also talked about love and what it takes to fall in love.
Yeah. Jasmina says she's been in love 3 and a possible. It's like spades. And Michael said 1 and a possible.
Yeah.
And basically he just says he needs to be vulnerable with someone to fall in love. And she felt like for the first time he was being vulnerable with her during the conversation about his brother. I don't remember what she said about.
She didn't answer. She didn't say anything. That's why. But she did also say she doesn't believe him in the vulnerability. Like she didn't trust him to like believe in his vulnerability.
Jasmina has had a lot of things happen in her life that I think can warrant having trust issues.
Yeah.
But I think you also shouldn't go into a process like Married at First Sight with those types of walls up surrounding people. And I say that because the 2 most important people that you should have in your life, like your foundation, your stability, have both left her. So I get trust issues. It's just how you work through those and navigate them. So as an effort for them to do something together, I guess Jasmina set up Jasmina's gym and she's going to be his personal trainer for the day. That's where they
did you watch this with a smile?
What?
This little workout. Yeah, I skipped around a lot.
Yeah, I laughed and I was just like Michael when she was skipping through the little ladder thing. What is that called?
Agility ladder.
Okay. When she was skipping through that and he was like, I'm not going to do that. I was like, me neither. Like, no, girl, you're not skipping through nothing.
The workout was about a communication interrupting and vulnerability or being vulnerable. And that's where
it worked.
Yeah, it definitely worked.
There were some tears, but they did seem to connect in that moment.
Yeah. That's about all I got for them.
Let's see.
We ain't got number 2 more couples, yeah.
All right, so Lindsey and Mark. Mark came in. Lindsey was being a jerk. Capital J. He asked her questions. She was like, or giving 1-word answers.
Yeah, don't that irritate you? Like when you're trying to have a conversation with somebody and they hit you with, okay.
Yes, but I also sometimes do it. So I guess I can't be too irritated with people. But mine isn't always about like, I don't like you right now. Sometimes mine is I'm doing something else.
What was Mark cooking, man? Because he was scratching the heck out of them plates. Like he was making my teeth itch.
It was something tough because she said it was tough.
I was like, good grief, man. Just get a better knife or something, man. Anyway, go ahead.
So they get into their back and forth. She tells him that he's being negative and she needs kind affirmations. And then she basically tells him that all of their blow-ups are his fault. I was like, she's not listening to him at all. She also, as I said last episode, lacks self-awareness.
She doesn't know that she's doing something wrong. And then it gets to a point to where she doesn't care that she's doing something wrong.
And when she said that I'm only in 1%, like I was in 100%, and now I'm only 1%. And I'm like, they don't look different.
Mark had the best response to that. by saying, well, it's not 0. Mm-hmm. I was like, Mark, you go ahead with that, man.
I like Mark. I don't know what Mark does off camera to rile her up. That's the word I was looking for.
He like, one thing, he's not having sex with her, and she doesn't understand that.
Would you?
Nah. I mean, I probably would, but that's me.
It's hard to get to let's have sex and you've been on my nerves doing dumb stuff all day, and I get it.
Like, it wouldn't be any type of connection sex, It'll be I'm not gonna beat off today.
Well, maybe he doesn't do non-connection sex.
Yeah. It's almost like for him to have... Anyway, I'm not going to talk about this.
You felt weird?
Yeah, a little bit, man.
All right, so they do their love exercise. Lindsey says she's been in love. Mark says he has as well. Mark asked her a question. I don't know how they got to the point of recycling relationships, but she basically said she never goes back. And Mark was like, sometimes you break up with a person and you realize that they were what you wanted when you get to the next person and realize that they're not. And Lindsey was like, I take the qualities of what I liked about that person and look for it in another person because I'm not going back. I get that logic. I've been a person that's gone back, and obviously it didn't go well with me because I married you.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
And even like the going back, it was a familiarity thing. Like, you're familiar. I know you. I know that I can expect for, if I say, let's go here, I don't have to teach you the room. Mm-hmm. Like, the participants. Like, if we go to a family event, everybody there. Just little things like that. So I get it, but...
Yeah. I think with Lindsey, she's too much of a statue. Like, it's this way. This is the way it's going to work. This is how things work. This is what happens when you do this. I don't want to say a know-it-all, but she's a know-it-all.
She is a know-it-all.
And for Mark is way more fluid than she is. Mark is like, I can go with the flow. I can kind of, move around and stuff like that.
And you would think with her profession that she would be less rigid.
Mm-hmm. That's the word.
Because you just never know the type of situation that you're going to be in.
Right.
As a hospice nurse.
Right. And you take the same approach with the relationship. Like you in normal matters, you know the person that you're dating and married to, but still you got to be fluid in that relationship too, just because you, from day to day, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how that person is going to feel that day. You don't know how you're going to feel that day. When a situation arises, you don't know how that person is going to respond to it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all these matters that come into play, and especially in their hand, and he's telling you, and she's like, no, it's not going to work that way. I'm going to do it my way because my way is right. But you're on this show. Obviously, your way hasn't worked.
And also, as Mark says, we're on the same team.
Right. Like, why are you fighting against me?
There's just some things, and I know that you've had to do this with me as well. There's sometimes where the way that your spouse is doing it is not going to work, whatever it is. And sometimes you just are like, you know what? I'm not going to fight you on this. Mm-hmm. I'm going to let it fall apart, and then we'll do it the way that I knew was going to work. Mm-hmm. And so you relinquish that control to do that. So after that, they go on a date to a sushi restaurant, and she decides she's going to choose the food for him. She orders this huge boat. Yeah. Would you call it a boat? Yeah, it was a boat.
Yeah.
And Mark is a beginner at sushi, and she bought him some sashimi and some nigiri. And I'm like, Mark is more like a crunchy crab roll.
Whatever's cooked.
Like crunchy tuna roll.
Yeah.
Like he more of that guy. Because like, if someone doesn't eat something, you don't have them jump head first into it. And some of this stuff is literally just him feeling like he's just looking at raw meat sitting on a plate.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I'm not eating it.
Right.
And I mean, I feel him on that. Like, although like I like sushi, the first time I tried sushi, you couldn't have handed me that.
Right.
So I don't know.
But
she was just being really playful at that. And then at the ending of that date, he apologized for all the times that she's been hurt in their relationship. I feel like Lindsey also needs to apologize for some things, but I digress.
Yeah.
After that, they go to what Lindsey called a fun park, and they do batting cages because she said when they were going to clean out his apartment, she did find out that he played baseball, and he's kept every baseball from playing Little League all the way up to... Did he play in college? I know he played in high school.
I think he played in college.
But yeah, so good outing for them. Last couple? Or did you have anything else?
No, that's it for them.
All right, so Katina and Olajuwon, they open with Katina grocery shopping. Apparently they had an argument the night before. And the conversation continues the next morning about him asking her about her role as a wife. And then he got into the whole, she doesn't want to clean up after the housewarming party. I think that Olajuwon has the game messed up because he's upset with her and he's equating it with a wife. And that is not what he's upset about. He wants her to cook. He wants her to clean. And he's looking at those as you should know how to do these because you're an adult. Mm-hmm. And she's looking at it like, I like to go out to eat. I'm not going to learn how to cook. Like, I'm not saying I'm not going to learn how to cook, but I'm not about to be in here making Alfredo sauce from scratch when they've got it in a jar. Mm-hmm. That's not my life. And then even with the cleaning up, she's like, we can do it in the morning. Like, we can start on it tonight and we can do it in the morning. And he's like, no, it has to be done tonight. And that's his hang up, not hers. One of the things that I can't remember at what point, I think it was at the very ending of the episode that he was arguing with her about their housewarming. He was like, you didn't take the initiative to go get the food. Yeah, you had your friends bring the food. And I was like, shut up. Right. Like, facility, is there food?
Right. Did the mission get complete?
Right.
Doesn't matter who brought the baton over the line, but was it over the line?
I look at us having like cookouts and whatnot. There is one thing that we never ask people to bring when we have cookouts, and that's meat. And the reason we don't ask people to bring meat is because that needs to be done when y'all are arriving. Yeah. But sides, you can bring a side because I can eat my meal without your macaroni and cheese. Yeah. But I can't eat my whole meal without the entree. Right. You were about to say something?
I was going to say, first off, Olajuwon was full of SHIT this whole episode. But he questioned her, not like, first off, he questioned her as a wife. Mm-hmm. But nobody's, like, she's not stepping up and saying, but what about you as a husband?
I don't remember anything in the wedding vows that said, must stay up until 2:00 in the morning to clean up the floor.
His whole argument was the fact that he had straightened up. Like, I'm not finna full blowout clean at 10, 11 o'clock at night, unless I'm just like when I was in college, I used to vacuum at late at night because it soothed me. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those things. It's like,
I know. I just laughed because you was like, you don't like vacuuming? I love vacuuming.
I do.
But that's literally how you would say it. And I came in the other day and you were vacuuming the living room and the dining room. And I was like,
enjoying it.
Right. I was like, he don't even know I'm in the house.
But, you know, he's upset with her because he decided to clean up that night and she just went to bed. Mm-hmm. Like, those are things you can't get upset about because she's like, okay, well, I'm going to just get to it in the morning. I get that part. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that he has to learn, like choosing your battles. Mm-hmm. And is it worth it?
And one of his arguments with that was, you're at home all day. She is at work. Yeah. Like, just because she is physically in the house does not mean she's getting up and washing dishes in between whatever she's doing.
And then another thing too, he works third shift. Mm-hmm. So being off and you're being up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning is normal for you.
Right.
For other people, no, that's not normal.
Right.
Like, I'm going to be either asleep or watching TV at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And most of the time it's sleep. Mm-hmm. So it's for him to question that part. It's like, all right, her as a wife, I'm like, bro, you're pushing, you know? Then to come to her, like the part that I want to talk about more so is questioning her as an adult.
Right.
Like that's out of line. You're not in the right place to question that.
All of our adulthood looks different.
Right.
But even taking that a step further, all of our marriages look different.
They look completely different.
It's just like we joke about friends and their relationships and how like, nah, you couldn't deal with that. Or nah, I wouldn't deal with that. Yeah. But it's like the two of them together makes sense. I'm not talking about Katina and Olajuwon. I'm just talking about people in general. Like when Tommy and I have those conversations. Sometimes you just have to look at the situation and be like, it makes sense. I think that his expectations of her, I don't even want to say are too high, but I think that his expectations of her are something that haven't been communicated.
I think that, and I also think he's almost like bullying her.
Mm-hmm. He is very much so being a bully.
He's bullying her into the perfect wife for him. Mm-hmm. And it's like Katina doesn't know how to stand up for herself. Mm-hmm. In the sense of, wait a minute.
I think that Katina knows how to stand up for herself. I think she's refusing to stand up for herself on camera. Because she don't want to look.
Angry black woman?
Exactly. I think that that's what it is. Because like, even when she like blew up at Lindsey, she was like, girl, don't talk to me on camera. You know we don't do that.
Yeah. No, it's for me. And I hate it when people do this because it's like your expectation, you need to throw that out the window. Mm-hmm. Because reality.
Or communicate your expectation.
Like, it's like if the cleaning up thing bothers you,
say it.
Not even say it, just start cleaning up. And invite, hey, have the conversation about clean up. Hey, can we get on the schedule to clean up? I like my house like this. Boom. This is how I would want, like, let's set up a schedule. Let's do this. Let's do that. Mm-hmm. Or you just be with, I'm going to just clean up. Mm-hmm. That's just be one of the things that you do. Mm-hmm. And don't complain about it. The thing about this is, about Married at First Sight is, you know, at the end of 8 weeks, everybody's on a trial period. Mm-hmm. Then once you get to the end of 8 weeks, you make that decision to stay with this person. If you make the decision to stay with that person, at that point, everything is accepted of the person.
I think that the ending of this 8-week period can get very scary for her because she will also be moving into his house.
Right.
And if he's acting like this about little things in a shared apartment,
yeah.
And I don't want to make it seem like we're like under emphasizing the importance of cleaning up, but it's not important to clean up at 10 o'clock at night.
No, I don't. I think it's more so important.
Because I think they had that housewarming during the week.
Yeah, I think it's more so important to like straighten up, not have food out and everything like that. But as far as like moving chairs back and you know, taking down party stuff and all this decorations, no, you leave that to the morning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's not gonna hurt anything. Like food out and stuff like that can cause pests.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it just kind of like his whole time talking about standards need to be met. Questioning her as an adult. This whole cooking thing, man, it's such a old thing. Like, bro, like if she doesn't like to cook, she just doesn't like to cook. You like to eat, fix you something to eat,
mm-hmm.
and keep it pushing. That's what you do before you're not married.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like the cooking thing. The cooking thing bothers me so much just because it's presented so much.
Mm-hmm. It's like
every episode is about them. It's about her cooking for him.
Mm-hmm. And it's like a running situation that he thinks is so important, but it's like, is it really? It's not.
Yeah.
So getting into their love conversation, because we kind of jumped all over the place.
Yeah, man. Like
he said he needs devotion. She said she needs support. And it's like he started scolding her again because she apparently was also in another relationship with a jerk, who she said she used to cry all the time, and he would tell her to stop that, like, don't cry. So she was like, now go and cry in like private.
Yeah, she doesn't show.
I cry all the time, but I usually cry out of anger or frustration.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that you've ever thought anything different of why are you crying?
Yeah, no.
Or why are you not crying in this situation?
Like, it always surprises me when you cry and we're talking. Mm-hmm. I'll be like, did I say something like bad? You know what I'm saying? I start going through what I just said because I don't intend to make you like, that's not my intention in any conversation we have. It's not my intention to upset you in that manner. Mm-hmm. But the intention is to get my point across. And then it's like, I gotta think about like, did I say this too bad? Like
most of the time, yes.
Yeah, like, you know, it's just trying to really figure out how to say it. And that's another thing. It's like, I don't think Olajuwon is taking heed to how it sounds. Mm-hmm. And, you know, what it looks like.
My thing is, are these absolute deal breakers where you are like, I cannot be married to this person because of you not going to go pick up food for an event we have?
Like, that was so stupid.
Because if that's the deal breaker, don't even talk to me about it.
Yeah.
Like, just let it go and or you can, I won't even say don't stop, mention it, but clue me in to know that that's what's going to keep us apart.
Right.
But also, I think I'm gonna just come up with something unrealistic for you to do as well, because that's just stupid.
Yeah. For me, that was just dumb. And that's the thing I think that bothers me about their relationship. It's only one side who's showing whatever it is that they need to show. Like, his needs aren't being met, but it's hers.
Mm-hmm. And it's not even that his needs aren't being met, because the need is to eat. The need is not for her to cook the meal.
His standards
right
aren't being met. And it's like, is her standards being met for him as a husband? Because it's work.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, did she grow up? Because we also have to think about the fact that we do things because of or in spite of our family dynamic.
Yeah.
Could it be that her mother was married to a man and she felt like her mom gave up too much of herself for this man? So she's like, I definitely don't want to do that. Like, you just don't know. So it's like finding out, what can we come to a consensus of when we have people over? Instead of saying that we're going to absolutely clean the whole house top to bottom before we go to bed, can we, like you said, make an agreement that we are going to put up all of the food and throw away everybody's random red cups?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then tomorrow, one of us washes dishes, the other one sweeps the floor. Like, just coming up with a list of things.
Like, and another thing too, understanding that you guys are two different people and you operate two different ways. Sometimes you're going to have to do things as if you were that person's mama or that or their dad, you know, and that's just, that's the give and take of a marriage. Like, I can't get mad at you for not wanting to fold clothes. I just have to figure out the better situation or the better way to do it. To be like, okay, well, you wash your clothes, I'll fold them. You know?
Sometimes it's as simple as outsourcing. You hate the idea of outsourcing, but when you look at it, like, Olajuwon has his home. He's been maintaining his home by himself, right? Katina coming in, all of her income is purely a bonus, right? Let's just say Mary May's only cost $200 a month. Is that really a dent in her pocket?
I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. So that's something that you can outsource. I mean,
but I don't know.
You can't outsource. You can't just say, oh, Mary May's gonna clean up after everything that we have. Or you can make sure to schedule things so that they're coming bright and early the next morning.
Yeah.
So you figure that out. It might be that, okay, I don't want to wash clothes. You go find a nice laundromat or, you know, service that would either pick up your clothes or or you go drop off your clothes and they have them ready the next day, like clean, iron, pressed, folded, whatever it is that you want. And you just figure out those tasks. Like, I think that we put a lot of weight on domestic tasks, and nobody enjoys doing domestic tasks. Well, except for you and vacuuming.
Yeah.
I mean, I've met people
like I like a clean house, but I understand.
But you I'm saying, like, you enjoy vacuuming, right? Yeah. But like, you don't enjoy washing dishes, right?
I mean, it ain't my favorite thing. I ain't gonna just be like, oh, I ain't gonna say.
You're not gonna walk into somebody's house and be like, I'm gonna get these for you. That's what I mean. Like, you don't enjoy it, right?
Nah, I'm not gonna do that.
So if you don't enjoy it, it's like a simple thing. My mom had lived in an older house. She didn't want to wash dishes. My brother didn't want to wash dishes. She got a dishwasher. That's literally outsourcing the task.
My mom was like, I got kids, so.
And it's just, at this point in life, like, I remember when I first met Tommy, he was like, I wash my dishes by hand. I was like, no, we don't do that.
That's because, like, I had never used a dishwasher.
I know. I wasn't that person. My mama went and, like, cut a hole out and replaced the cabinet to put a dishwasher in. So it's literally different. It's different stances on things. And sometimes you just have to outsource. We don't have to look at everything as outsourcing to a person. Sometimes it can be outsourced to a machine. But I don't want to do this, so let me figure out a way to make my life easier. We don't have to make our lives harder with those expectations. And I feel that he is trying to make her life harder with his expectations.
And just not to just completely beat him up.
No, I'm waiting on Talisa Ray for that.
Right.
Because she's done giving grace.
Yeah.
Last week was episode 8.
But like, it's okay for him to have standards. It's okay for him to have expectations. But what's not okay is to beat a person down because they don't meet that. You definitely can meet a person where they are and allow them to kind of see the things that they're missing.
Mm-hmm.
But questioning her as a woman, questioning her as an adult, I think is definitely the wrong way and the wrong choice of things to say
to
a person. And then just to see her break down at the end of the episode, you know, the way that she did. And it's like, he doesn't seem to have any type of remorse, and she hadn't said anything bad about what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the standards, if her standards are being met.
Right.
And I think that's the bad thing about it, because if he's leading you to a brick wall and you're allowing him to with no say so, that does say something about your adulthood. That does say something about your womanhood, because at the end of the day, you're still a human being. You have ideas and thoughts and dreams that you want to achieve and standards that you want to be met. But if you don't speak up, a closed mouth will never get fed.
Mm-hmm.
Learned that from my oldest cousin, Carlos. Shout out to him.
I thought you were going to say the Yin Yang twins.
Nah. Carlos told me that when I was like 13 years old.
And
I never stopped asking for stuff.
They reiterated it.
Yeah.
With the Yin Yang twins.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm done with them. Olajuwon needs to stop being an a-hole to her.
Oh my gosh. Olajuwon just really grinds my gears. And I just want to yell in his face like Cardi B, what was the reason? Like, he's one of those people that you want to sit down and be like, what did you gain from this?
Yeah.
What did you gain from basically making this girl cry? You wanted to break her? Congratulations, you've done that. Mm. But in the ending of it, what if she chooses to walk away from you for this reason?
It seems like he's at the point now, he's like, nah. Because he said if it wasn't for them doing Married at First Sight and them being married, he'd have walked away from her by now.
Yeah, because he walked away from everything else in his life.
I'm just saying, like,
he's the problem.
I get it. You know, I get the she's not meeting your standards, but it's just your approach to it. Mm-hmm. Like, your approach to it is not right. If you're trying to make this work, mm-hmm. it can't work that way, you know? Anyway.
I'm yet praying for Katina.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
Nah, I'm done.
Anything new happening in your life?
Nope. If you, we did put a video out of
that wasn't even what I was going in, but okay.
That explains why Artieka been wearing hoodies and blankets and stuff. So.
Today I have a blanket because I'm cold.
Yeah.
Like,
so
it's
check that
freezing
video
in
out.
Here. Episode 4 and 5 of Bel Air review is up.
Yeah. Working on 6. That'll be up soon.
We'll have 4 and 5 in the end screen of this video, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Perhaps.
6 will probably go out tomorrow or something. Anyway, go ahead.
That's pretty much all I got.
All right. You got a question?
Okay. How could Olajuwon have gone about this differently?
Yeah.
Like, what could have been the conversation that he had? Because I'm going to have to figure out a way to shorten this into an actual question. But at the archery meetup, or not archery, was it archery? Yeah, archery with the guys. Basically, he verbalized to the guys that she doesn't clean up the way that he wants her to, but he's never said those words to her that we can see. He beats around the bush about what is a wife, and a wife is not a domestic servant. If you were Katina, how would you explain to Olajuwon that you are not a domestic servant here to fulfill all his needs? Or do you think Olajuwon is right? Because there may be some of those out there.
Yep.
Ain't me, but. Anywho, if you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and like this video. I always forget that one. And then comment down below and let us know what you think of this Lindsey and Olajuwon debacle.
All right, guys, I'm out. Peace.
Bye.